Da, 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 da.
He's doing his own theme song this week. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into another Kong Show, coming to you live from the Pink Cow in Roppongi, Tokyo, with Mr. Don Morton, film critic from Metropolis Magazine. How you doing, Don?
Doing well.
You're in a very good mood this time.
Musical.
That's because you're here at the Pink Cow.
Pink Cow.
Waiting for that burrito at the end of this review session.
So hungry.
All right, let's get right to it. What 5 movies will you be reviewing this week?
Okay. Lost River, Advanced Style, Pitch Perfect, A Walk Among the Tombstones, and Get On Up.
Get On Up. I can't wait to hear what you have to say about Mr. Brown.
Right.
As always, we should start with worst first and work our way toward the best.
The worst is Lost River. I don't know why it is that when actors turn to filmmaking, they insist on being Fellini right off the bat, rather than just tell a story simply and well.
So who's the actor turned director this time?
It's Ryan Gosling. You saw him in Drive and in Crazy Stupid Love and in Lars and the Real Girl.
Oh, okay.
Ryan's first foray behind the camera is this nearly incomprehensible collage of David Lynch, Gaspar Noé, Terrence Malick, Dario Argento, and several other directors.
It reminded me of David Lynch's movie called Blue Velvet.
That and several others.
So are you saying he's imitating these directors?
He is, but there's nothing wrong with imitating one's influences. It's how we learn. But Gosling's ambition exceeds his current ability anyway. There's some nice imagery among the wearisome weirdness, and other signs that one day he'll make a good film. It's just not this one.
So you're saying miss this one?
Miss it.
Next movie is called
Advanced Style.
What's this one about?
A photographer named Ari Seth Cohen started photographing women on the streets of New York above a certain age and their style sense. He did a blog and it was very popular, but this movie sends a mixed message.
How so?
Well, on the one hand, it celebrates 8 very energetic aging fashionistas ranging from their early 60s to their late 90s.
Are we talking about cougars here?
No, these are beyond cougars.
Oh, really?
These are old ladies. All right, but then they refuse to act, or more accurately, they refuse to dress their age.
More power to them.
Absolutely, I think that's right. But does individualism automatically mean flamboyancy? I was torn between anti-ageist admiration and the disdain for their cloying look-at-me attitudes of these women.
Reminds me of Liberace.
A lot, yes. It's a very good analogy. Can one not look interesting without being self-consciously eccentric? It's warm and charming movie, but it's pretty thin stuff.
Date movie?
I'm not going to answer that question.
Okay. Who is this movie for?
People who believe that fashion matters.
That would be most of Japan.
Then it's a hit.
Okay. Next movie is called Pitch Perfect.
That's right.
And I've heard this is doing very well in the States.
Pitch Perfect 2 outperformed Mad Max recently on one weekend.
Which just ended its season, right?
I loved one headline. It said, Mad Max pitch slapped.
Pitch slapped? But that's the sequel, right?
Yeah, that's right. This movie was made in 2012. This is the original, but it was never imported to Japan until the sequel started hitting box office success, and now it's capitalizing on that.
So what's it about?
It's about a disaffected college freshman played by Anna Kendrick, and you can't go wrong with Anna Kendrick.
Can't go wrong with Anna.
She gets an attitude overhaul when she joins the Women's Staid a cappella group, and she infuses it with new material. It's very formulaic stuff. It will appeal most to those with a high tolerance for glee.
Isn't there a word for such people?
Yes, I think they're called gleeks. Anyway, bottom line, this is a synthetic, not very funny collegiate comedy, including some projectile vomiting just to do something naughty. But there's some very good music in it, and so I would suggest you just buy or download the soundtrack.
Next movie up is A Walk Among the Tombstones. Thriller?
Well, yeah, Liam Neeson's had a resurgent career as a thriller action hero, despite those terrible Taken movies, of which he made 3. This is more of a slow burn neo-noir. It's among the grimmer and grittier of the potboilers that he's made recently. It's a pretty hard sit. The villains are very twisted, the bad guys are flawed, and it's blatantly misogynistic. Call it the anti-Taken.
Scary?
And yeah, it is a bit. It is extremely well crafted, and it's not without its rewards.
And so what kind of character does Neeson play in this movie?
He plays an ex-cop unlicensed PI, and recovering alcoholic.
Didn't he just play that?
Yes, well, he does that a lot. But actually, nobody does World War E better than Liam.
Typecast?
Typecast, but I'd rather watch him do this kind of stuff than a lot of other actors.
Say, for example, Steven Seagal?
I'd rather watch anybody do stuff rather than Steven Seagal.
Sorry, Steven.
Anyway, he's asked to find and foil a sadistic kidnapper-killer that is targeting the wives of drug traffickers. Pretty smart, because they're unlikely to go to the police. It's all fairly creepy stuff, but it's well done noir.
Why the title, A Walk Among the Tombstones?
Part of it takes place in a cemetery.
All right. Final movie is called
Get Up!
What's that music?
Get up! Get on!
That's Mr. Brown, the hardest working man in show business.
It's called Get On Up, and it's about this man. The godfather of soul. He changed the way music was made, I think.
Not only did he change the way we listen to music and the type of music we listen to, but he also changed the way artists did IDs for radio stations. And I'll tell you a little story about that after we hear more about the movie.
We're talking about the great James Brown. We have not mentioned the name yet, but we don't need to. He was a great influential musician. He's also a narcissistic, perfectionist prick who was hated by his sidemen and was not above slapping around the occasional wife. This movie is made by Tate Taylor, whose previous effort was The Help. It's a bit fragmented, at least to start out with, but it does settle down. Takes us from the early 60s in his career to the late 80s, captures the energy. Chadwick Boseman plays James Brown. He recently appeared as another legendary black man, Jackie Robinson, in the movie 42.
How'd he do in this movie?
He absolutely incarnates the main man.
Wow.
He's doing his thing.
Did he have the moves?
He got the moves. He got the whirls. He got the struts, the splits, the leaps. He got them down, and the attitude as well. The music, though, is lip syncing.
Ooh.
No.
Yes.
Because that's not bad news, because every note he's lip syncing is from James Brown's own remixed original vocals.
Wow.
Yeah,
so you're saying a great soundtrack.
Mick Jagger is the film's music producer.
Emilio Castillo, the leader of Tower of Power, said this is a great movie. And of course, Emilio did a tribute song to James Brown. Sounds like this.
There's one thing that I found. I'll still be digging on James Brown. I'll still be digging on James Brown. I'll still be digging on James Brown.
There you go. That's Emilio Castillo singing with Tower of Power. They're coming back to Tokyo in August. They'll be at the Blue Note. More about that later.
That's a good cut. Anyway, back to the movie in the end, like movies like Ray, Walk the Line, and Jersey Boys. It's all about the music, and the fans, which are legion, will have a funkin' good time at this movie.
Are you saying we'll be dancing in our seats?
I will be.
See it again?
Sure.
You know, it's going to be playing on the IMAX Theater in Shinjuku.
James Brown at IMAX.
Definitely got to see that. Now, the story about the ID. He came into our radio station, and oftentimes, whenever we have an artist come in, we give them a piece of paper, sit them down in front of the microphone. This is either before or after the interview, and it says something like this. Hi, I'm Don Morton. You're listening to Kamasami Kong on FM 802. Gave the paper to James. James said, I don't need no paper. I do this stuff by myself. And he sat down and he said, Hi, this is James Brown. You're listening to Kamasami Kong on Funky 802. Kamasami, hit the button and you got to get something. Hit it, Kong. Hit it.
Dun, 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 dun.
Get up!
Yeah.
Get on up!
See it again, Don?
I'm black and I'm proud.
I can't even follow that up. Just say goodbye, Don.
Goodbye, Don.
That's it. We'll be back with more movie reviews again next week right here on the Japan Today website.
Hi, this is James Brown. I feel good looking at Kamasama Kong. Kamasama, hit the button and you got to get something. Hit it, Kong. Hit it. Ow!
One more thing before we go. We're here at the Pink Cow, and you know, Don, you wanted to say something about the Pink Cow in Tokyo?
Yeah, they're undertaking a crowdfunding campaign so they don't lose their lease at the Pink Cow. Now, people, I don't know if you've ever been to the Pink Cow, but it's the only decent place left to go in Roppongi. You actually have to go outside to a very nice patio if you want to smoke. It's a smoke-free Roppongi bar that's hip, artistic, and friendly. And so go over there and patronize the place.
And of course, they have great food.
They do. They have the best home cooking in town. Chef Andy is just great. It's not fancy, but it is all real good stuff.
And generous drinks.
Yep.
All right. Don Morton, again, thank you very much.
Thank you.
See you at the Cow.